I mean, it's the timing too. It's summer. It's
Well,
beautiful.
yes.
Well, people get
It's a
sick.
small town.
Right.
Oh, by the way, if you move here, we need a zoning map.
I got recruited the first time I came in front of this.
Right.
So.
Well, you know what?
Last year.
You may sucker me in the initial
Yes.
because I got suckered into the lake community that we lived in.
He was a treasurer
I was
for
a
10
treasurer
years.
for 11 years, and when I volunteered at my first meeting, the president patted me on the shoulder and he goes, "Welcome to the board. You're the treasurer until you die."
I am from the
And that's-
local historical society. I think that's how it'll end. Yeah.
That old rule: never volunteer for anything, right?
No, it would be a good fit for you. It would be.
Well, the good thing is
You know, we only meet like about 3 or 4 times a year.
yeah. Well, I noticed that there's not a lot of stuff that comes up that warrants this kind of stuff. But you know, in all honesty, it would keep me. It would give me, you know, something to do too because
And you get
I'm
to
an
meet the
advertising
town.
photographer. I travel for work. I go to the job. So when I'm not traveling to the job, I'm my home office. I'm at home. So I'm here. You know.
All right, let's get going.
All right.
Okay. This is a meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the Town of Webster. And we'll start by having the secretary take attendance.
Marty Bender.
Present.
Robert Drown is a no. Barbara, you here?
I'm here.
Okay. Robert, are you here?
Present.
Okay. No D and no Sue Roberts.
Okay, and I have told the applicants that they need a 3-0 win, okay? So anyway, let me tell you briefly our procedure. You probably have an attorney who probably knows anyway, so we start by having you testify exactly what it is that you want to do. We will interrupt you all the time with lots of questions. We then hear from anybody wishing to speak in your and then we hear from opposition. We then have you you have a chance to rebut it, and then a chance for rebuttal by anybody opposed. Since there is one other person here, you might have some more testimony. Anyway, then we close the hearing, we close the testimony, we open it up to a discussion by the board. The board will make its decision tonight in all likelihood. And as you know, after we make our decision, you have 30 days in which to appeal it. And after we either grant a rehearing, or if you don't get a rehearing, or of course the opposition could also have the rehearing, it then goes, you have an opportunity to go before the Superior Court within 30 days. I've just been, it's one of those things. I've been on the board since 1983. Probably before you were born.
Not that much before.
But anyway.
Close to me, though. No, I'm joking.
But anyway, we had one really contentious hearing. It was over the campground. It was a campground, as you know, right? Different owners, right? And their lawyer, and I don't even know. We wouldn't know him anyway because he's a Concord lawyer. I understand you work in Manchester, right?
Land use is not an enormous bar, but
Okay. Anyway, there was an attorney there, Peter McGrath. Do you know him?
I've heard the name. I don't know
Okay.
him personally.
Anyway, when I was a lawyer, I had cases against him, and he was a really, I won't say anything more. Anyway, he was representing the people who were, it was a couple who, they were the ones who were presenting their applicant for the campground. They wanted to go from, I think at the time, there must have been like maybe 80 or so lots in the campground, and they said, well, you know, the state said that we could actually have 600. You know, so we want to limit it to like, you know, 290. Someone, it was, yeah. Anyway, it was very interesting. There were a lot of people here, and we voted no, not to grant him the variance. It wasn't even a variance, but anyway, I guess it was a special exception. Anyway, he filed his appeal. First he asked us for rehearing. We decided no rehearing. And so then he filed it with the Superior Court, which he filed on the 31st day. And I was just, there was absolutely nothing he could do with it.
I have read that case law. Those deadlines are strict.
Right, yep. So anyway, I like to tell people, like, you know, if you have to go before the Superior Court, you better do it exactly before 30 days. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and tell us exactly what it is.
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Russ. My name is Eli Lano. I'm an attorney with Bernstein Scher in Manchester, here with Ava and Steve Bodette. They introduced themselves briefly to you, but they are looking to move to Webster to build a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, about 1,500 square feet of living space, a few hundred square feet of dry storage, and a 2-car parking area. Nothing out of character with the neighborhood, nothing out of character with the town, on a beautiful piece of property on Clothespin Bridge Road, on this side of the bridge that's currently being repaired. I'm sure you guys know where this is.
Oh, yes.
So, again, I'll get to the 674-33 criteria and the special exception criteria, but just to give you a sense of the neighborhood, which again, you already know, but for the record, this is a quintessential New Hampshire, New England area where you know where your neighbors are, but they're not right on top of you. You have forest, but it's not so far out that you're just completely remote. It seems like a beautiful place to live. Houses of sort of a reasonable size. It looks to be sort of 2 and 3 bedroom, a lot of 1 story, 1.5 stories, some newer 2 stories, good looking barns, this kind of just New England character in a nice place where they have an opportunity to add to that, looking to build this 1-story, 2-bedroom home. They're both in their 60s. This is the goal, to be the retirement home, stick around, live in Webster for a long time. And that's where we are basically as an introduction on this. And then you in town have the special exception to allow in the that a non-commercial building or new addition thereto may, as a special exception, be approved within 25 feet of a property line upon finding of no detriment to the neighborhood. This property is located in the residential agricultural district. There's been, from our review of records, several of these exceptions granted, as well as the fact that several of the buildings and homes in this area predate the zoning ordinance restriction on 5-acre lots and 50-foot setbacks. So I think our first request to the board would be a finding that there's no detriment. Again, this is a pre-existing lot. I'm not asking for a subdivision to a smaller lot than standard or anything. This is already approved, and Ms. Agnes McGrath is under contract to sell it to the Bodettes. So I can't, in having driven this neighborhood, having done an awful lot of zoning and planning law, I can't think of a detriment that this request would cause, and I hope the board would find as much.
And so what about, so that's just the special exception that you, yeah, okay. So, do you want to just go ahead with the variance? Or-
How did we open it as 2? I don't, again, I'm happy doing either.
Well,
I
yeah,
usually err to the side of how Marty wants to do it, if you wanna handle it both separately or together.
I would just do them together,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so.
May I ask, 4B has to do with date of hearing. Why would you ask for us to look at this? Have I got a wrong thing? It's 4B
Yeah.
in zoning is date of hearing. We'll hear it within 30 days.
What did I say on 4B?
I'm wondering which one you're actually here,
We're here, again,
well, there's also the setback.
right,
I've got
so.
this one for hearing.
Right, so it's the special exception is the first relief we've requested, and then also so section 4B.
4B, and it says date of hearing. Am I reading this wrong?
Article 4, section 4B. Do you have your ordinance with you, Russ?
I will pull it up,
Yeah.
because it is never far away.
Because if I cited the wrong provision, I'd like that corrected for the record, and I will certainly eat my mistakes, so I'm asking for the correct thing.
It's the first thing I look for. What are you asking for?
Meantime, while he pulls that up, I'll, as a layman, I'll tell you, where I would put the house on this lot, if it were up to me, I don't care. You can put it anywhere, right? Like, the lot is gorgeous, you could put the house anywhere. So much of it has been dictated. Like, we can't be closer than 50 feet to the river.
Front yard,
There's-
backyard, side
yeah,
yard setbacks.
There's
wetlands.
wetlands, there's
When I
driveway
pull it up,
access, there's this is pretty much this is it, this is the building envelope. If we wanted to build a bigger
What are the
house, we could.
setbacks?
It says the 4B is the minimum distance between a building and the sideline or rear line shall be 50 feet.
Yeah.
So it's the same. 4B?
Are you, are you the correct article?
Four, yeah.
Section.
4B.
4B.
Section,
And it's on page 7. And
Article,
Or you're in 5.
Article 4.
Yeah,
You're in special
I'm bad.
right,
No,
that's what I'm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just 4B. It didn't make sense.
What,
Okay, I got it. No, I had the wrong one.
okay.
All right, well, I feel better about that. because-
I feel better you're wrong, because I'm paying him.
no,
All right,
it's okay. It's okay.
so then, to go through the variance criteria, again, the request is to be 15.5 feet from that side setback. You all have a copy of the
15?
plan.
Yeah, from the side, from this side, the private way. It's their side.
Oh, the private way.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's their
Right.
sidewalk line.
Also, just so you know, and he doesn't have any of this because the design isn't finalized, we have our architect sort of moving things around. But we're planning on a 6-foot bump out an entryway, like a covered step. So the house starts, what would that be? Let me do my math. 21.5 feet? It's not like the house is
Yeah,
15
just the
feet,
bump
it's
out
just,
is-
it's the 6-foot bump out.
Okay, and that bump out is sort of reflected here, but again,
I
these
see.
aren't building plans. So, I think it's interesting that your variance criteria are out of order from the 674-33 law that dictates it, but I will go in the order of yours. So, no diminution in value of surrounding properties would be suffered. Again, the discussion of the neighborhood, I think, is very relevant here, that these are houses built on similarly sized lots, and we're not building close, we're near that setback, which is to that private road, which is not an off-traveled way. It's not closer to anyone's house. There's still gonna be plenty of tree buffer and plenty of room. And it's a neighborhood where the general condition is that there are other houses that are in good shape and nice, and one more house is not gonna have an impact on the values of these other properties. Is your board's preference that I keep going, or do you ask questions after each, or?
No, we interrupted anytime.
Perfect.
Yeah, so, okay, so the private way,
Mhm.
right, what is there?
Can you tell us about the
Is-
private way?
And my neighbor can probably tell more about that. It's a road that, it just looks like a gravel cut that runs
in fact,
along
that's the name,
one.
the cut.
Is it?
Yeah,
It runs along the edge of the property and it goes back to,
I think probably
This
onto
gentleman's
your
property.
property
Yeah,
and then
that
house
road
back
was
there.
originally designed to be 50 feet wide.
Mhm.
And the owner of the house that my daughter owns, he put the road in himself, so it's, if you measure the lot itself, it probably goes in 20 feet into your property, the actual roadway.
Is that what your daughter uses?
Yeah, that's the road my daughter would use, and I would use for that other, my lot.
Okay.
So it sounds
It's a
like
private road.
sort of
Okay.
functionally more of a driveway in terms of actual usage.
Right.
And then, because that's laid out as a 50-foot right-of-way, which is shown on the plan, but you see the general bounds of the gravel way, there really is more buffer there in the actual right-of-way, and it seems,
Well, if I may?
Yes.
It looks like you've got a driveway going out onto Clothespin Bridge Road, you're not
Mhm.
even using
Yes.
the private road.
Right.
Right, that's what you're gonna be using.
Correct.
Sure.
Right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
We tried initially, like, to, with our engineering company to make sure, because it's, you know, the purchase is contingent, we didn't want to buy it and find out we couldn't build on it. So we decided to roll the dice and pay for engineering to see if it could be done. And, you know, initially the criteria said that you have to have your driveway off of a class 6 road.
no, that would be class 6, class 5 or better.
Class
roads.
five.
Class 5 or better.
And so that's why we wanted to make sure. So when he started doing the engineering, that's why we're here for the variance. We tried to move things around, like we can't have a 19.5-foot wide house, we wouldn't build one, you know? So it's pretty much, this is it, but that's why we put the driveway in there too, is because we can't. Like, we can come off of a class 5.
And again, Mrs. McGrath doesn't have rights onto that private way, so.
Gotcha.
Granting the variance would be of benefit to the public interest, so New Hampshire Supreme Court has interpreted this, that there are 2 tests for the public interest. It's that the proposal can't be adverse to the essential character of the neighborhood. Again, in the 5 or 10 minutes we've been talking, I've already probably gotten to the point of ad nauseum on this, but this is another neighborhood with similar style, similar houses, similar sizes. We're gonna be very much in keeping with the neighborhood, so the essential character of a residential rural neighborhood with another house in a residential rural style is very much in keeping, and that the proposal won't be a detriment to the health, safety, or welfare of the area. Again, you see that the driveway has adequate access to Clothespin Bridge Road, that there's nothing that would be an issue in terms,
Which driveway?
the proposed
The
driveway.
proposed driveway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so that if health, safety, or welfare considerations, that there's certainly adequate access if for any reason emergency services needed to respond. It's not so close to any of the neighbors that you create any sort of hazard in that way. So I don't think that there's any detriment to the public health, safety, or welfare. And again, I think it's worth noting that we are in a housing crisis in New Hampshire, and some projects are big, some projects are little. This is a chance to add 1 more housing unit, sell another housing unit somewhere else. It's a good thing for the general public health, safety, and welfare.
Especially if I can get a lot of money for the house I have now.
Well, that'll get into the balancing test.
Exactly.
But, so denial of the permit would result in an unnecessary hardship to the owner seeking it. And in terms of the special conditions of this property, you can see from the map that we've provided that the proximity to the river is such that there are only certain places you can put this. In weighing the best place to put the house, we thought it made the most sense to respect the river setback, maintain that 50 feet, and then encroach upon those other setback requirements to be a little closer to the edges of the property. Again, in terms of being a special property in the area, it is along the river, it is along this private driveway that we've already discussed, and there's other things that are not the case on other lots in the rural residential zone. And then in terms of no fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and application to this property, again, the point of setback requirements is really to prevent overcrowding. This is not an area that's particularly ripe for overcrowding, nor would the Beaudettes want it to be overcrowded. Another relatively small 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home is not going to overcrowd this. So applying these setbacks or making them, as they mentioned, build a setback compliant home in this sort of hourglass-shaped pinch between the setbacks would be an unfair hardship to them. And the proposed use is reasonable. The Malachi Glen case talks about the fact that if a proposed use is allowed by right, it's inherently reasonable. And this is a single-family home in a single-family neighborhood, so the law says that it is prima facie reasonable. By granting the permit, substantial justice would be done. Substantial justice is the balancing test where in negative to the applicant that's not outweighed by a benefit to the public is an injustice. This is an opportunity for these two to build their dream retirement home here of a reasonable size in a place they find absolutely beautiful. Having driven and seen the area, it is absolutely beautiful. The benefit to the public of having a lot that was subdivided previously and is a buildable lot not be built upon because you can't have reasonable use of the property within the allowed setbacks, that's gonna be a hardship to them. So they pass that balancing test, and again, as mentioned in some of the other criteria, there really is no detriment to the neighborhood by allowing one reasonable house to be built here. And the use is not contrary to the spirit of the ordinance. This goes with the public interest prong generally in the way New Hampshire interprets these two. It's if you meet that you're in the public interest, so that health, safety, and welfare and essential character of the neighborhood. If you meet that criteria, you'll generally meet this criteria as well. And one of the things about the spirit of the ordinance, I think is well quoted in the ordinance, is that the residential agricultural district is designed to accommodate residential and agricultural uses at a mix of higher and lower densities in a rural environment. So the town already understands through its ordinance that some places will be these 5-acre lots, others haven't been designed as 5-acre lots, higher and lower density. This is a perfect opportunity to, again, put a house that fits the lot in a reasonable spot that just needs a little bit of relief between the special exception and the requested variance. We are, as have you seen, we're all happy to talk and answer questions about this. They're very excited about the project and the prospect of moving to Webster, and we'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
So, you guys want to start, or?
Where are you putting the septic system? I don't see that.
I've got them on my list.
There's a
Let's see.
design.
Just
I
curious.
have it. Oh, no, I don't have it here. I have it on my other phone.
I don't see a lot of space for that either, so.
Yeah,
Figure it's-
do you have anything? Do you have any?
I haven't received
Because
this.
I can show you if you have what. Oh,
Assuming
okay.
it's out here somewhere.
It's, there's a tank, so we wanted to be able to drive over it, because again, we're limited.
Yeah, yeah.
So they didn't have a long run for, what do they call, piping something system?
To the septic,
Right, like the leach
The
field.
leach field, yeah.
So he basically built a concrete chamber, designed a concrete chamber, so it's smaller and it's concrete pipes that you can drive over. So he can put it, part of it under the driveway, so we could drive over it. So it's from here in the front and then kind of over in here. I do have an approved septic design. If you want, I can run to my car and get it on my phone, because I have that plan.
Is the
It's
leach
approved
field-
by the state.
Leach field? Or are you just putting in a tank and pumping?
No, it's gonna have a
It's
leach
gonna
field
have a
too.
leach field, right?
Yep. Do you want me, I can, my car's right out front. You want me to
Okay.
grab it so
I
you
don't
can
think-
see it?
I don't think we need to see
no,
it.
that'll have
You
to
said
be
it-
approved by DES.
Yeah, you already got
anyway.
it.
Well, it has been.
It already
I have
has
an
been.
approved
Okay.
septic design and everything, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we have all state approvals. This is like the last
Right,
parade.
they even have the shoreline.
You've done the shoreline?
Yes,
Okay,
we've done
cool.
that too.
How big is the lot?
0.71, I think, 0.73.
0.71.
It's like 3/4 of an acre about.
Okay, I listened to the special exceptions, but help me with this. Memory serves, the hardship has to run with the land, not the owners? If there's a hardship, why they couldn't move this into the middle of the lot? I remember, what was it, on Pleasant Street, the woman that wanted to subdivide but had not enough road frontage to make it 2 different lots. And we turned her down because the hardship wasn't with the land, it was with the owner.
So, in terms of the way that's interpreted, again, you are correct. It can't be the hardship that they
Of the
want this and therefore they can't have it. But the hardship is created here by the somewhat unusual fan shape of the lot, the fact that there's a river at the back that changes that setback so that we can't get the 25 feet from that river. So that's a unique condition of the property. Because otherwise that would be, if the Blackwater River was just another field, we could request that 25-foot special exception, move everything back from the private road.
It didn't need to go back. I'm looking at a 3/4 acre lot, and you're asking for 25 feet to the side, and I'm wondering why you couldn't move it further to the middle of the lot.
I asked. That's what I'm saying, like, we've had the engineering done, GPI engineering in Salem. We sat there at our kitchen table, because what we didn't want to do is get too excited about everything, and so we wanted to make sure we jumped the big hurdles, the state stuff first, because if the state says no.
Makes sense.
So we're like, do whatever you gotta do. So the first thing we needed was the septic, so we had a guy here dig test pits, and he dug several, so that we had the option of where we could put the house. And there was a couple that were, I guess he hit clay, which is not good. And so that end is where it's better drainage. But there are some wetlands, and again, I have it on my phone.
Wetlands are delineated on,
Are they? So
they are, which
so
is
because
why
I
I asked
wanted
the
to,
question.
yeah,
And if I got this, I left
Yeah,
my
yeah, go
glasses home, I can't
Yeah.
read this. Thank you.
ah,
Can I also add one
Thank
thing?
you very much. Actually, you've got shoreline protection 50 feet?
250 feet.
It's like three sections, 50, then the next 100, then the next 100.
Yeah, with the point
So 50
system, et
feet.
cetera.
Okay, so if you've got 3/4 of a lot, and just 3/4 of an acre, it just seems like you wouldn't need any variance for your side yard setback if the house just moved right.
Let me speak to the fact that you said we don't have a hardship on that piece. This is possibly why it makes sense to vote on the special exception first, which would be to reduce that to the 25 feet with which that would comply. That's 25.5 feet from that side. That's only one criteria, not more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Which is
So,
the 25 and a
You
half?
lost me there.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see
The
it.
25 and a half here.
Yeah. Right, yep.
This piece. But you'd still be less than
Yeah.
25 on to the private way, right?
Right, yeah,
None?
which is why you're looking for
Yeah,
variance.
that's why you need the variance.
Right.
two pieces of relief with separate, again, the variance criteria is far more difficult than the
Right,
special exception
yeah.
because special exception is a use allowed by right upon certain conditions set forth in the ordinance. Only condition in your ordinance is that it can't be detrimental to the neighborhood.
and I can't
Side
speak.
setback is pointing to the front lot. Okay, so right now, as proposed, you got 15.5 feet from the bump out in the front of the house to the private way, and only 25 feet to the side. And you're telling me that there's not enough room to move this way? What is the hardship of the land for not even needing a 25-foot setback?
But I don't need to prove a hardship for that because that 25 feet from the side is the special exception.
Right, I think she's saying if you move the house towards Clothespin Bridge, you get 25 feet from the private way also, and then all you need is a special exception, not a variance.
So, all I can say, and I don't know, I'm not the engineer, right?
Yeah.
But, when we sat down at the kitchen table to try to figure out, I did not want to ask for, like, my goal was not to have to ask for anything, because then it's a slam dunk, because we wanted to make it easy. The fact that we had to ask for two things is not my choice, but my engineer said pretty much, and I wish I could tell you exactly why, but there was no way of getting the 50 feet. That was as far away as we could get, and I think it had something to do with the test pits and clay and wetlands, and I don't remember all of it, but trust me, I would love to be able to drop that house somewhere where I'm not asking special permission at all. But this is where we are, I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you that if I could have moved it further away from the road, and if I could have moved it further away from the property line, I definitely would have done it.
And those, again, there's not a hardship for that side lot criteria. But if it's put there because of where clay and
25,
soils,
yeah.
right,
Right.
clay and soils were found, that's a logical reason for putting in that place. Whereas the hardship for why we need to be toward the front of the lot is very much because we want to maintain that setback with the river in the back. And that clearly is something that runs with any user of this property because it's created by the nature of the property being bordered by a river.
But isn't the real issue here that you're going to be 16?
15.5.
Yeah, 15 and a half.
From a private road.
To the, yeah, see, and that's just it, you know, and go ahead, what were you gonna say, John?
I just wanted to know if that variance is from the actual boundary of the property or the road, because the road isn't the property line,
What road?
the private road.
Private way.
It's from the measured edge of the 50-foot right-of-way, which,
Oh, which goes into the
Yes.
property.
way in.
Yeah, way
Like,
in.
there's the
Right,
actual
right.
road,
So
then
you're
there's
looking for
another like
that
30
variance
feet,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, we had it surveyed, so it's from the actual property line, not the observed edge of the road.
And
So
I-
this little thing here is actually the private driveway?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
and we're way
So
back from that.
This
That's
would
the
be your
proposed.
property boundary?
No, that's existing.
No,
This,
okay.
this dashed line here is the gravel driveway that the abutter will use for his property and your daughter uses to get to her property.
Right.
So from a line that doesn't exist in real life, the legal fallacy of the fact that this right of way is here, that's where our property line is, because they own the private road. But the actual used private road is far into the middle of that. So there's a buffer created on yours from the private road to the edge of the right of way. So we're not encroaching on it, but we are encroaching on the setback to something that is a buffer to something else that is, I mean, minimally used. This is not a public way. It's
Yep.
by definition, private way.
It's
Yeah, what's the
John,
total
right?
distance from the
So-
road, from the private road?
So if we, let's use some.
Probably like 50 feet.
So if that is 25, you're another 25 feet based on that being 25 of the set here.
Yep.
So realistically, from the edge of the gravel way, you're more like 41 feet.
Right. But I guess that's my question, is, where are you measuring this? I mean, what you've got on here, you know, what you're saying is 15 and a half feet, right? To a non-existing driveway, right? And I guess my first question was, why is a driveway even, because I'm looking at here, you know, which says the minimum distance between a building and any road or highway shall be, right? That's 4A,
Right.
you know? And I'm thinking,
So I think,
so why, and I tried to find, you know, I did some quick research.
I think it's on, what is it? Is RSA 41 that defines roads in New Hampshire?
Is it? Okay.
I think so, and that is, it's interesting that we've already mentioned class 6 roads, which is what this would be. If they wanted to build a house on this, where you only have access from class 6, you need to get, generally tends to be select board and planning board approval to be able to do that. That's not what we have here.
Right, and it's,
But it's still defined as a roadway.
is it? Okay, so.
Class 1, so 93 all the way through class 6, the goat path under locking bar, gates and bars are all counted as roadways. So by the fact that Mrs. McGrath doesn't own that, that's still the edge of our property. So that's why the setbacks kick in here.
Okay. All right, because that was something that was bothering me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still bothers me. That is the edge of your property, and somebody in the future can say, I'm gonna pave it. And it's 15 feet from your front door.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm thinking future, not just today.
yeah, I mean, it's a, you know, again, we understand it's a possibility. I mean, if you look at the plan from, what was it, 1968 or something, when they first divided all these lots, it was a horseshoe road that was supposed to come off of Clothespin, loop to the back to the other lots, and then connect back to Clothespin, so people would have but it never went that far. I think somebody built one house back there and put their driveway, technically a driveway in, but we call it a roadway, I guess, legal definition. I mean, the likelihood that anybody who's gonna build a house back there wants to put a 50-foot wide roadway and pay to do it,
Right.
you know?
Right
I
down to
mean,
the
Well,
cost.
who owns the 50-foot right away?
It sounds like you do, right?
Nobody owns it.
Okay.
It's
So,
I mean, idealistically, there should be some plan to take the land up to the roadway for both lots.
so then if
It's like in
that,
no man's land.
if that were to get discontinued by statute, the general presumption is that the owner on one side owns to the midway and the owner on the other
Right.
side owns to the midway.
Right.
Which again, if
So-
that were to be the case, we're very much compliant.
Right.
Yep.
And that seems frankly more likely to happen than the idea that this would be paved 50 feet of a 50-foot right-of-way, which even if you look on 93, there's still more unpaved right-of-way on there, because that's the way roads are laid out. Because if you pave to the absolute edge of your right-of-way and you don't own the properties next door, you don't have rights to put your snow, for example, on the neighboring lot. It's a trespass.
Who maintains that road? Who
The
maintains?
original Dick Furnett built that road.
No, maintains, like
Oh,
potholes, snow plowing,
I take care of that for my daughter.
you do.
Yeah.
And I will also note that we don't use that road or anything here.
Right. 'cause
Yeah.
you're gonna
Can-
put a
do
proposed-
you and
your
your daughter
proposed
come down?
driveway.
We'll
Could you
connect
have a
the
driveway to Clothespin Bridge Road?
Could I?
Yeah,
No,
no, okay,
You connect to the
I
private
connect
way.
to that
Yeah.
okay.
private road.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've actually paid to have it re-gravelled and everything.
Graded, I'm sure,
I maintain it.
Nice.
We live on a private road now,
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I
and
hate
for
that.
7 years, I was the guy that would have to collect from the 21 people on the street and try to get them to pay to fill potholes. And finally, last year, I paved to my driveway.
Our neighbor paved also, but it was like, you know, it was a
Yeah.
big job.
Yeah, I don't envy you that, you know.
But again, this house will not be serviced by that private road. It's just gonna off the class 5 or better road on Clothespin Bridge.
I'm just curious what the setback is from my background, the background.
Would that be, have you seen this plan yet?
No, I haven't seen
So I think this is yours,
it
so
right here, property line.
25 feet from that corner and then it angles away from you.
Is that the zoning law, 25 feet?
That's the special.
Oh, that's the special,
To
because it's
25.
supposed to be 50, right?
Right.
Yep.
But again, 50 makes more sense on a 5-acre, brand-new subdivision developed lot as opposed to on this pre-existing lot. Where I don't know that too many of these, if you drive that half of the road up to the bridge, I think almost all of them would be in the 50 feet.
I'm not sure, give me a minute. How about you, Marty, got everything?
No, I don't have any more questions. I'm satisfied. No, nothing else?
No, nothing else.
Okay, I gather we've heard from the 3 of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, anybody else wishing to speak in favor of the application?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody wishing to speak in opposition?
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Nice to have good news.
Okay.
We
And then I'll-
want to be.
Yeah,
close
I'll be
the-
like, my house is already approved to build and everything, but I went 50 feet from my side bound, your side bound,
Mhm.
in to build the house, so
Nice.
it would be 75, I guess,
Bunch of good trees.
instead of 100.
All right, so I'll close the testimony and open up the discussion by the board. So I'm satisfied, that basically, this is basically the same thing we did
It
for
is.
the columns. Right.
It is, I don't like it, but it is.
So why don't you like it?
Remember that little conversation about what a quaint little town Webster is? You should have seen it 50 years ago, before people started building on 3/4 acre lots.
But it's,
That's,
Oh.
yeah, that's,
Oh.
it's losing that. So, but by law,
If I can at least ease your concern in this way, I can't change the size of the lot, you know? I mean, I'd like it if it was 5 acres, but it's not. We're moving from Wyndham because we don't like what Wyndham has become. So,
We like
you know,
the
my
small town
goal would
feel.
be to
We
make
love it.
sure that we make as little an impact in that regards. We're not the kind of people that are, you
that's
know.
been the progression all my life. Massachusetts moving forward.
Yeah.
Moving north.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah,
know.
and it's chopping up New Hampshire's, used to be you could jump into a lake just about anywhere and there might be a house around it. Now you can't find a lake except for Concord's water supply. It doesn't have so many houses around it that there's no private or public area to jump into the water.
Right.
So that's what it's become. I can't imagine where we're going from here.
Well, I mean, considering the fact that you can't find a house in New Hampshire because there's not enough inventory is showing you where it's going. I mean, unfortunately, we've created a state that everybody wants to move to, not out of, and I don't see how that's gonna change. But-
Something like 82% of Webster is either in current use behind Blackwater Dam or in a conservation easement. It will not be developed.
Right, which
So
is
we have
fantastic.
trees and people are putting, I don't know if you've seen that little one that's going up near Pillsbury Lake. They're crowding in between other houses and just creating this, you know, I mean, it looks like downtown New York, except it's
Well,
1 or 2 stories.
Quite.
It is to me. So, yeah, I'm grieving the loss of what we used to have. But by law, you're right. And I have to follow the
And
law.
I think this town has been growing very, very slowly.
It has been,
I mean-
and still too fast for me.
If you, when was it? I mean, we still have a limit to how many building permits can be given.
Only in Pillsbury Lake.
Say that again?
Really?
Yep. The other one expired. There was a set expiration date in the ordinance.
I didn't know
Did
that.
it really?
Pillsbury Lake one didn't have a set expiration date, so it never expired.
And so, but because I remember, and I don't remember exactly what the percentage was.
It was
Um,
2% in Pillsbury Lake, and I don't remember what Webster was off the top of my head, because I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
How many building permits do we have this year?
That's a luxury, huh?
Yeah.
How many building permits do we have this year?
Right now, 4.
yeah, right.
Probably wouldn't hit the limit.
I mean, because I remember when the limit was something like about 20.
Okay.
Maybe it's like 18
I
or
don't
19.
think in the time I've been here, we've gone over 7 in a year.
Right.
I think at most, it's usually,
Well, there's not
2 to
much
4.
buildable land here.
There was,
Yeah.
but I mean, that happened once when the town hit its limit.
Of 20?
18 or 19, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And that was quite a while ago, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's, yeah, right now, I mean, we're only growing by like 4 or 5,
Thank you.
you know? So I'm not, I haven't been concerned. I know when it's gonna happen on Little Hill Road. We're gonna have, but even there, a nice couple, they're gonna put up 5 houses for
Yeah.
family.
It's a family compound, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take them several years to complete,
Mhm.
you know, so. and
I
it's just-
I keep going back to when I was a kid, Deer Meadow was dirt, and I could run up and down it all night long in my underwear, and nobody ever saw me. There was no cars, okay? Now it's the second busiest road in Webster. Thank you, Pillsbury Lake. So, yeah, we've lost a lot. And it seems like, I don't know, I wouldn't be happy looking out my windows and looking into my neighbor's windows, so I always want to see some space. You know, that setback is important. But you said you have 50 feet to the lot line, correct?
Right.
And another 25, so you've got some space.
75.
And no one will be building, obviously, on
And
that
I'm-
private road, so that's,
I
in
also
terms of
wanna-
looking in the
Are there any
neighborhoods.
other lots available on that road?
Nope.
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
And we want to plant trees, we want everybody to have their privacy, so we
Sure.
want, if wherever trees have to be taken down, or which, you know, there's lots of restrictions, and I'm glad with that, because I fell in love with the lot because it's so beautiful. I want to do only what's necessary, because I
It is.
want to be part of nature. So, you know, we just want to beautify it and be an asset to this neighborhood. It feels like home every time we're here.
Yeah.
I
That's what
always
we're
say
kinda
this
looking
feels
for.
like home.
50 years
So-
ago, there wasn't a house down that road. That's the difference. How many houses on the road now?
Quite a few.
You're talking about in Clothespin Bridge Road? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they all seem like fairly, you know, newer homes.
Yeah. Okay, no questions, I'm sorry. Conversation,
Really,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
really. I don't think we have, do we have any more questions?
I do not.
Okay, so I'll make I'll make a vote, okay?
A motion.
Yes, that we grant both the special exception and the variance.
You do them together?
What?
You gonna do them together or separately?
I think we can do it together.
All right, roll call vote. Martin Bender,
I'm in favor.
Barbara Corliss,
In favor.
Robert Klages.
Yes, as long as they
Hey.
promise.
You heard the whole
Oh, that's right, you are.
Yeah, go put your trash in the
We will
river.
make sure you're not sorry. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your consideration.
I'm so excited.
She's gonna cry about it.
Thank you.
She's gonna
I'm
cry
ready
about
to
it.
now.
First you have to actually
What's
get
the- yeah,
the
what's-
title to the property.
Yeah, well,
Right,
that's, now
right.
we can close because we
Yes.
jumped
And
the
we have,
final hurdle.
obviously, the
Oh, I know.
30-day appeals period, as
Right.
you've mentioned, so.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I wish I could lick on my nose and everything be done.
Yeah, me too.
So, Eli, is Andy still working?
No, he
My
left
last
for
year.
Valencia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been at Bernstein for 3.5 years, and he left a little bit before me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Oh, no wonder
But-
that close. Somebody's getting to the book.
still,
Is Andy just doing political?
I think that's the deal.
We're in the
Yeah.
whole thing
I mean,
out.
I haven't run into Andy for
This was,
several years, I guess.
yeah, he's still a very well-respected alum of the firm. His
Oh, yeah.
name comes up periodically at meetings, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since I got there, so.
How big is the firm?
I think we were right around 20 in New Hampshire and around 100 in Portland.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we were the biggest firm in Maine, and then we had a little bloodletting with a couple of retirements and whatnot, and I think we came in second, but
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. I can't imagine working for such a big firm. I mean, for me, there was 3 of us.
Yeah, so when I started, I was in Massachusetts. I'm from Keene, New Hampshire, and I was in Massachusetts for a few years doing land use work, and that was with 7 folks, one of whom was land use, and then sort of a mismatch, and it's nice to keep doing this work and get to come to towns, and so.
Thank you guys so much for showing up. I know that this is not a paying gig, so thank you for showing up and giving us your time and your approvals, because we really
thank
look
you.
forward to being part of this community a lot.
Yeah.
Welcome to
to have you.
Webster.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if
So
I,
when
are
do
you
think
actually
you'll
going to
actually
move
be
here when the house is
moving
built?
right in?
I think we,
So-
well, maybe even before, because we're hoping to
Now
sell
we
the
know
house
we
right
can list
away
our
while
house.
everything's been flowering and looking
My
beautiful.
fear
So
is,
we'd like
because
to
Wyndham,
sell it
I think
as soon
Wyndham
as
has
possible.
18 houses on the market right now.
Well,
Business is a
I'm
little slow.
part of
There's
the-
the money to build.
Historical
Like,
Society,
it's
and we have a
crazy.
little
They're
booklet of all the
proposed
things that you
a
need to know about
350
Webster.
unit
Okay.
apartment
And,
complex
the
with
old
mixed
meeting
use, and
house is
another
up on
500
127 at
unit
the top of the
apartment
hill.
complex with, the town is like
Ooh,
agreeing
well,
with
we're
every
open every Sunday up
commercial
until
construction.
Home Day,
There's
which is
traffic
this
jams
coming.
24/7.
And we
I
already showed up
can't
for
get
that. We already
the 2
talked
miles
about
to
that.
93
Oh,
without
good.
sitting.
Well, if you come
at
up to the
lights.
meeting house, I'll give
So
you one of
it's,
those
it's,
books.
I
it's
would love
insane.
that.
And that'll tell you where to take your dump.
So our
and,
house
you
should
know,
sell like
who's the
in a
electric
minute. There's
providers,
people
all of that.
waiting for
That's perfect.
inventory,
All
and
that
as soon as the
stuff,
right
and,
person
you
sees
know,
the
I
house and
also
goes,
wanted
that's
to know
it,
once
it's
the time
gone,
comes
and
it's
then
built,
we're
I
homeless.
want
I don't
to
know what we're
it's
gonna do.
made
We're
for the
gonna, I've
area,
actually,
plan
Road trip?
for
I'm on the Webster
We would like to
Facebook
belong to
page
the
that
historical
the administrator let me
Probably
on.
should. I mean, I
And
love
there's
nature
like
and
5
everything.
people that
You know,
have
go
places, I
mushroom
guess they're seasonal,
Oh my God, now you're
that they're willing to
talking.
rent,
His-
like
and my
over the winter
son.
and into the
My-
spring.
both of them.
Not seasonal
My son
properties, they
stops
use
at
them
dumps on the way
seasonally.
home from-
Yeah.
He's an engineer.
So
stops
I'm gonna
at dumps.
explore that a
It
little
dumps
bit, and,
mushroom
because I'd like to be
and-
close to the
Have you
construction as
heard of
opposed to
it?
driving.
Not a mushroom person.
Oh, yeah,
50
no,
minutes.
So-
mix them up on
so
the way,
Russ,
but
we're
I'm
on-
super excited,
we're
thank you
on
so much, I really am happy.
Yeah.
I'm up the street,
ones-
I'm 51 Clothespin Bridge.
Oh, you are?
Somebody owns
Side of the
one
bridge.
on,
Oh, you
on,
are?
I'm not sure.
Sort of.
Pillsbury Lake.
Oh, well,
I'm-
thank you.
Some woman in
but-
Totoka has a
Beyond
place
him on
that's
Deer
got,
Meadow.
it's like she's got a,
Okay,
an
and
in-law
Dear Meadow, I'm hoping to
that
see
she's,
deer.
you know, we'll find
Not so
someplace.
crazy
I don't
about
wanna,
seeing
I
the
don't
bear.
know, if it's,
I
I
just
want
went
to
on
find
the
something
brakes a bunch of
furnished.
times on Deer
Because the
Meadow.
last thing I wanna do is take all my
I'm sorry?
furniture
I've
apart
sat on the brakes a few times
and
on
move
Deer
it to a
Meadow.
place,
Yeah,
set it all up,
It's,
and then
it's
6 or
true,
8
it's
months
true.
later,
I have
pack it all
4
back
or
up
5
again,
every
and move
day
it again.
dusted
I'd rather
and
take it all, shove it in
then,
storage, forget it, I
Last
own
fall, I
it.
had like about 20.
Move in with my
at the
clothes and
time.
my toothbrush,
Yeah, they were
and
just-
then when the house is
and
ready,
it doesn't
we're
happen
ready.
every year.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
know.
this year I've got them, and next year where the
But-
deer go.
Right.
So,
Well,
We're-
if you speak my language,
We're
because what
just,
I think
we're
is
so
my
excited.
calm
I
is my
mean,
flowers
this is
and the
what we've
birds.
been
I
wanting.
especially
Kids are
when
grown,
COVID
kids are out of the
lost
house,
my mom in a terrible
it's just the
way,
2 of
COVID,
us,
and it hit hard.
you know, and so we
it took
kinda
a long
wanted,
time to recover, and my piece is
quieter
nature, and I think
away
that's
from
why
the
I'm
crowds
so
and
drawn
traffic.
to that lot.
you know.
Because we looked at a bunch of
And let
places,
me
but
tell
as
you,
soon
when
as
you
I was
get
on
here,
that land, I'm like,
You have
this
to
is it.
come to the
This is
library.
Trust
it.
your
It's
gut.
so beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you. It makes,
That's
I
another
think
thing
our,
I'm
our
one of
next
the
step, because my
library
husband was worried
trustees.
because
Good for
he
you.
Okay. Well, we're right around the corner, so.
And
It's been
I,
very slow,
yeah,
so now's
right,
the
and I
time.
will particularly good,
So,
right,
this
because one of the
feels
things
like
we
it's gonna
do
be our next
is
dream
once a month,
spot,
I
and I
have
didn't think
a
I'd have
movie.
another dream spot, because that was my dream home, so I'm excited.
Very
I'm
Good.
super
I'm always
excited.
trying to.
well, welcome to
Congrats.
West.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, thank you
Trying to
guys
get
and
more
your
people to
neighbors,
come to
I
the movie.
appreciate
Sounds
you.
like
So-
downtown New York City with a
Thank
movie
you.
theater.
So,
Thank you again, it was nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you,
I
thank you
will,
so much.
No, we need a
Thank you
motion.
guys so much.
I'll be in.
Oh, the minutes too? Oh, thank you again.
You got most of it already,
I look forward to
so.
seeing y'all.
I'll see you
Saturday.
Driveway permit, that's gonna
I'll,
be the next
I'll
big
see
thing
you
that
Saturday or
I'll-
Sunday, one or the other.
Probably
I'll be
Saturday.
here for a holiday.
All right, and
Yeah,
that's through
probably
you guys?
Saturday.
That's for me, the driveway permit's online, it doesn't cost
Marty,
anything.
I'd like to
you just
make a
gotta fill
motion
it
that
out.
we accept the
Okay.
minutes.
Oh, yes.
Next week.
Oh, no
And
problem.
I'm
seconds?
still on the
Yeah, I'm
record,
so
so.
Yeah, we
excited.
haven't, we haven't closed the meeting
I will
yet.
second that.
Approved
All those in
minutes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Ah, there you go.
Second?
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you all,
so
appreciate your
much.
consideration.
I always try to get involved too. I did it.
Okay, I just had to rush those notes in.
I don't know if there's ever.
Yeah, and I am
Drivers or
circled in
something. I'm a
places
car
where,
representative.
like, president, it's
35
president. I'm sure it's AI
I
taking
know
over.
one Brian, I
I
know
just
one-
circled it.
Or me, just
Yeah.
international
If I was
brands, international.
I used to be a proofreader.
I'm not a wedding barber.
He's more in
And I thought, I always thought it'd be kind of cool
stuff like that. Used them a year ago. I don't know if he's still on
Who's a what guy?
Everybody today,
Like an
they
auditor.
just grabs their phone, they grab their camera, they put it on.